Yo, what's poppin'? Back again with another banging video. I just fucking cringed all over my entire body from doing that. I'm never doing an intro like that again. And we're here for a video. But Levitee, you said you were gonna upload for a while. Correct. So, I signed up for this league way before I uploaded my, update video. And I kind of forgot I signed up for this league. And the owner just messaged me on Twitter, a couple weeks ago. He said, "Hey, you're in." I'm like, "What? What are you talking about? You signed up for the league, right?" And I'm like, "Oh yeah, I completely forgot about that." So, I don't know, I have a choice now. I kind of have to upload this because I told him I would upload, so here we are. You're gonna have weekly Levitee content, but this is probably gonna be it unless I find some new motivation. But yes, we're here for a new draft analysis. We have joined the IBA Season 4. Whole bunch of new faces we're going to be able to battle here. You know, it's a new league, new people, new draft, same trashy Levitee battling. But yeah, I actually think I drafted a pretty good team, but I'm still probably going to get my ass kicked in this league because, I think everyone is way better than me. The guy I played for week 1, he's pretty good, I think. His logo is actually pretty badass, too. Whoever made his logo, you're pretty cool. I think the owner made it, actually. I don't know. Don't quote me on it. Alright, let's dive into the draft recap, though. Oh, my God. Alright, listen. I haven't recorded for a week, so if I make a whole bunch of mistakes, I apologize here. And I'm probably pissing a bunch of people off because I'm not getting into the video. We're almost 2 minutes in. Alright, I'm going to stop fooling around now. Okay, so I went into this draft, well, one, as you can see by the title, I knew I wanted to draft Mega Sharpedo. I absolutely knew I wanted to draft Mega Sharpedo because it is allowed with Speed Boost, but I'll talk about that later. And there's a really fun core that I really wanted to try out, and I did get it, which is really cool. So first round, I decided to grab a Blacephalon. Blacephalon is a really cool Pokemon. As soon as this thing was, I'm naming mine Dippin' Dots, though. And I'm not going to be using Shiny Blacephalon, as you can see on the layout, because Shiny Blacephalon is trash. But Citra only had the regular or shiny Blacephalon sprite, or I just didn't have the regular one. But back to Blacephalon, it's a really cool mod, very good in my opinion. I kind of feel like it's a bit underrated as well. It's a really good revenge killer with the Scarf, because if you don't have a Ghost Resist, this thing is going to keep spamming Shadow Balls, and as soon as it gets one Beast Boost, it can honestly probably sweep a team fairly easily because of how good this thing is. Not to mention this thing has a 127 attack, so it's got a viable option for physical attack, but it has trash physical coverage. I think the only thing it gets is Flare Blitz. I don't even know if it gets that. Let me check here. Fire. It just gets Flame Charge as a physical move. I don't think it gets any ghost physical moves like Shadow Claw or Shadow Punch. It doesn't get Shadow Claw, and I think it gets Knock Off as well. So it has some options, but they're pretty trash options, not gonna lie. But I've really wanted to try out Blacephalon in a league. It just looks like a very fun Pokemon to use. I don't use fire types too often in League, but I feel like I'll use Blacephalon pretty often because I use Victini a lot in the PSL. Now, speaking of PSL, I was going to draft Blacephalon in there, but I got sniped, so I wasn't able to go for it. So, you know, it's a new league, new draft. I decided to go for Blacephalon here because, like I said, it pairs well with my Mega. The next pick we have here, what is going on? My mouse is freaking out. Am I still recording? Yes, I am. Okay, well, I'll just use my trackpad because I'm on a laptop. Alright, for our second pick we got Ferrothorn here. So I kind of wanted to grab a really good Firewater Grass Court right off the bat, and I really love using Ferrothorn. I haven't used it in a while. I think the last time I've drafted Ferrothorn was ABL Season 1, which was 2 years ago or something like that. So I decided to go for Ferrothorn here again. Ferrothorn is a really cool mon. It's very reliable. Good defenses with 131 and 116 respectively in their defense and special defense. And this thing is what the heck was that? Did you guys see that? Glitched out. Sorry about that. But Ferrothorn is also really good because it's a reliable hazard stacker with Stealth Rocks and Spikes. And sometimes in League I struggle to get good Stealth Rockers. In this League I grabbed a few of them. And Ferrothorn just overall is a very good Stealth Rocker in my opinion. The thing that sucks about Ferrothorn is it doesn't have reliable recovery. It does get access to Leech Seed though, so a lot of people usually run Protect Lefty's Leech Seed, which is a decent amount of health. But it doesn't get anything like Synthesis. I wish this thing got Rapid Spin as well. But, you know, Iron Bars is also a really cool ability because if you compare it with the Rocky Helmet, that's a pretty good chip you can get on Pokemon. Especially if the Stealth Rock's up, you can get Stealth Rocks, Rocky Helmet, Iron Barbs, and if, like, the opponent's Life Orb, they can get Life Orb Recall as well. So that's a lot of recall damage. Apologies, I am burping a bit. But there's really not much of Ferrothorn, you know, it's standard Pokemon. You know what it does, it's just a fat, bulky, spongy Pokemon to deal with. Name mine Area 51, because you know, he kind of looks like a UFO, plus the barbed wires that are around Area 51. So next up in the third round, we got Mega Sharpedo. I talked about Mega Sharpedo in the beginning here, but I've always really wanted to use Mega Sharpedo in a league. But like, half the leagues don't allow you to first turn Mega, but this one you don't have to. I think I messed that up. Who cares? You know what I mean. So you don't have to first turn Mega in this, which means Mega Sharpedo should be pretty good. I think it'll be very good for me. I'm really excited to try this thing out. And like I said, I think it pairs really well with Blacephalon. They complement each other's weaknesses very well. You know, because fighting coverage is... Fighting and Fairy are covered by Blacephalon. Blacephalon is weak to Rock and Ground. Sharpedo... He doesn't really switch into them depending on the mon, but he can scare them out and hit them very hard. So that's also nice for Ferrothorn as well, because Ferrothorn can help deal with those rock and ground types that Blacephalon and Sharpedo necessarily can't switch into very well. So that is nice, but Mega Sharpedo honestly hits very, very hard with the 140 attack and the Strong Jaw. It's so hard hitting, and especially if you run Adamant, which is pretty popular in this thing, it's gonna be nuking a lot. It gets a lot of coverage moves as well, like Psychic Fang and Ice Fang are really good options for that thing. And it also gets like cool stuff like Destiny Bond. I can maybe probably use Destiny Bond this week. The only thing that really sucks about Sharpedo is I'll probably have to run Protect every week. Maybe I can run Sub, which would be pretty heat. Sub Mega Sharpedo, who knows? We'll see. Maybe. But yeah, that's really it on Mega Sharpedo. Very excited to try out this thing. I apologize if this keeps popping up. But yeah, very excited to use this thing. And I nicknamed mine Depth. Kind of, not named after my esports organization. Kind of named after the video game Depth. But going into round 4, we picked up Florges. So now that I had my Fire, Water, Grass core, I wanted to start working on my Dragon Fairy Steel core. I already had a Steel type, so I needed a Fairy type. And I wanted a specially defensive Fairy type, because Ferrothorn's probably going to be physically defensive most of the time. So I decided to grab something like Sylveon or Florges. Florges is honestly my favorite Fairy type to use in League format. It's been the most successful Fairy type I've used, besides like Rabombi, which has been really good for me in the ABL. So yeah, I went for Florges here. Wish is really nice as well, and it's just overall a very big special wall with the incredible 154 special defense. It's going to be taking a lot of special hits, but there's not much really Florges. You know, it's standard. You know what it does. Moonblast, Calm Mind, Aromatherapy. Also gives me a Cleric as well. And a Wish Passer. Wish Passing in the Ferrothorn could be very good. But yes, there's not really much on Ferrothorn. I'm at not Ferrothorn. Florges, nicknaming mine Mount Lady. Shout out to My Hero Academia, because shiny Florges with the yellow sprite looks like Mount Lady from that TV show. From the anime. So yeah, it's really on Florges. You know, nothing too special about that. So going into round 5, I decided to grab Jolteon. I've drafted Jolteon a few times before, but in every league I've drafted Jolteon in, the league died. And I don't think this league will die because, one, it's already going to be in its 4th season, so it's already had 3 successful seasons. And it seems like it's run by a pretty dedicated group, so this league probably won't die. But Jolteon, you know, it's very standard. It's probably one of the best Volt Switchers you can grab. If you're not considering like Tapu Koko, this thing probably is the best Volt Switcher. Maybe you could put like Raikou up there. I wouldn't say really Thundurus, because that's more of a Nasty Plot sweeper than like a Volt Switcher. But I kind of wanted to grab a Jolteon so I can Volt Switch and get in like Blacephalon and Mega Sharpedo a bit longer, and to put some offensive pressure on them. And Jolteon is really nice because it helps my speed tier a lot. With 130, my speed tiers weren't terrible, but it's nice to have that really fast Pokemon. Like Blacephalon was 107, and Sharpedo was 105, but plus speed boost, of course. But yeah, Jolteon is a nice, solid speed stat. You know, Jolteon's very simple to use. You know, usually Choice Specs, Thunderbolt, Volt Switch, Hidden Power Ice, Shadow Ball maybe Signal Beam once in a while, maybe Hidden Power Grass for them nasty Rhydons and Rhyperiors. But yes, there's not really much on Jolteon. I nicknamed mine Electra. Very boring nickname, but I couldn't think of anything else. Going into round 6, or grab Tyrantrum. Tyrantrum is actually the same story with Jolteon. I've drafted Tyrantrum a few times, but every time I've drafted it in the league dies, or I have to drop out of the league. So I decided to grab Tyrantrum here. And I completed my Dragon Fairy Steel Core. Now, it's not the best Dragon Fairy Steel Core, but I was looking for a Rock type as well. So I decided to try out Tyrantrum again here. Tyrantrum is such a good Pokemon in my opinion. This thing, it gives me like my first physical wall breaker, unless you consider Mega Sharpedo one, but this is like kind of known as a wall breaker. Choice Banded Head Smash just nukes so many things. I love how powerful this thing is. It's not even that slow either with base 71. You can, it's a decent Scarfer. You'll outspeed a couple things with the Scarf. And this thing gets access to Dragon Dance, which is amazing because not only can you boost your attack, but your speed as well. It's a 2-in-1. You get Sword Dance? No, you do not. I wish this thing got Sword Dance. Oof. But this thing is really cool. I've really liked using Tyrantrum the little amount of times I got to use him. So I'm very excited to use it. But yeah, Strong Drill is also a cool ability because I can boost like Crunch and whatnot. I don't know what other moves Tyrantrum gets that can boost it, but you know, this thing is primarily going to be clicking like Outrage, Head Smash, and Earthquake. Probably most of the time. Maybe like Superpower once in a while for like Steel types and not Steel types that don't get like Earthquake for like Ferrothorn. Actually, I have Ferrothorn, so yeah. But yes, really excited to use Tyrantrum. Gives me an offensive Rock type, and I think offensive Rock types are really good in League format. I just think Rock as an offensive type is very hard to switch into, and you add Dragon onto that, that's also a very offensive type that's hard to switch into. So yeah, very excited to use Tyrantrum here. Nicknamed mine Isla Nublar after Jurassic Park, of course. So let me open up the other team in the showdown, and we can get on to the next one. So round 7, I decided to grab Hitmontop. So I needed some hazard removal. My only hazard removal is Florges, and Florges is just a meh thingamajig hazard removal, because Florges usually doesn't run around default half the time, because like I've used Florges in a league, and not oftentimes I just find myself using Moonblast, Protect, Wish, and like Aromatherapy, and no room for default usually. So I decided to grab Hitmontop, which is a very good Rapid Sprinter. Also gives me an Intimidator and a Fighting type, which I did not have, and just overall I felt like Hitmontop fit the team very well. You know, I've never used Hitmontop as well, so it could be really fun. And not only can it use Intimidate, Technician could also be very fun. And maybe I can even use Steadfast. Maybe if I'm facing like an Ambipom one week, and he tries to flinch me, gotta Steadfast you and get my speed raised. But that's a very situational thing. I don't even think Ambipom was drafted. I think Mega Lopunny was drafted though, so there's that. But this thing gets some cool options though. Bulk Up, Bullet Punch, Close Combat as like your main strongest fighting stab. Also gets like Earthquake. I don't think it gets like any good dark moves. I don't think it gets Knockoff. It does get Pursuit, which is not bad. It also gets Sucker Punch, which is pretty good as well. But yes, I just really want to use Hitmontop. Very pumped Pokemon to use. It's pretty bulky as well, especially if you throw in an Assault Vest, because you can get the Intimidate off and take special hits with the Assault Vest. And plus, your 110 special defense, which is pretty good. Like I said, add on an Assault Vest as well. Its HP stat isn't the best, but you can make it work. So coming in round 7, I think we decided to grab. Oh, by the way, I don't have a nickname for Hitmontop yet. So if you have an idea for Hitmontop, then recommend it down below. Don't recommend any stupid lame stuff like Beyblade. I don't want that. It's boring. Speaking of good nicknames in round 7, we got Gerald the Staraptor. This is a pretty bad nickname, but I don't know, Staraptor gives me a Gerald vibe. Doesn't he look like a Gerald to you? I don't know, it looks like a Gerald to me. But it's been a while since I used Staraptor. Last time I used Raptor was in ABL Season 1. I didn't even get to use it that often in the ABL, but Raptor is a really good Pokemon. It's a very good Scarf, and it just nukes things with Banded, Reckless, Brave Bird, and Double Edge. This thing is so strong. Brave Bird just hits like a truck on this thing. The really only downside in this Staraptor is that it's going to be taking a lot of recoil damage, especially if you're Life Orb. But Life Orb isn't too common on this thing because of all the recoil. And especially for Rock Subs, you're going to have to take 25% from Rocks if you come in, plus Double Edge / Brave Bird recoil. So, you know, it's not the best thing in the world, but it is what it is. But it also gets Final Gambit, which is, you know, a cool option if I want to go that route. And this also gives me another Intimidator, so Staraptor isn't only viable with the Reckless. Intimidate is also really nice. I think Intimidate is really nice in League because you can potentially cripple something. Like, I always find myself having struggles with Dragon Dance Pokemon. Dragon Dance Dragons in League. And now I got 2 Intimidators to help that. Okay, back to Staraptor. There's honestly really not much on this thing. It's kind of self-explanatory what it does. You're probably just going to be running this thing Scarf/Band most of the time. It's going to be hitting hard regardless, so 120 attack and the Reckless makes this thing hit extremely hard. Alright, what round are we on now? 8, 9, 10... I don't even know what we are. But, next round. We decided to draft Gastrodon, and I nicknamed him Quagsire. So, I went on a bulky water type, and I still needed a ground at this point. And I don't know why, but Gastrodon was just kind of like standing out to me. I could have went Quagsire. I very well could have, but I wanted the recovery. I mean, not the recovery. Quagsire... Gastrodon just has a little bit more bulk, which is what I was more interested in, especially with this HP stat. And Gastrodon also has the Water Absorb, which is cool for, or not the Water Absorb, the Storm Drain, which is cool for Blacephalon. So I can have an immunity to water, which is cool. But I have 2 waters at this point, but I don't think that's really a big of an issue because Sharpedo and Gastrodon do completely different things. Sharpedo is like an offensive cleaner. Gastrodon is just kind of an annoying fat Pokemon to deal with. But Gastrodon's very self-explanatory what it does. You know, Toxic, Scald, Recover, Earth Power. Kind of just bulky water / ground shenanigans. There's really not much to say on this thing. It's Gastrodon. You know what it does. You know, 111 HP is pretty nice. Its defense is pretty lackluster with the 68, but it makes up with it in HP. But yes, there's not really much on Gastrodon here. Going into the next round, we grabbed Hieroglyphics the Sigilyph. So this is probably like the most random pick, or what seems to be the most random pick in my draft. And honestly, I got sniped. Uxie. That's what I originally wanted, was Uxie. I was like, well, shoot, I need a bulky Psychic type. But like, all the bulky Psychic types were gone. So I was thinking to myself, alright, you know what? I'll just go with Sigilyph. I needed more hazard removal as well, because like I said, I only basically have him on top. Yes, I have Florges, but Florges really doesn't want to run Defog that much in my opinion. So I decided to grab a Sigilyph here, and Sigilyph is immune to the Stealth Rock's damage with the Magic Guard, so that's really cool. Sigilyph it's an interesting Pokemon. You know, it can be the annoying set with the Wonder Skin and the Stored Power, Cosmic Power, that set. But me personally, I think Magic Guard is better on this thing because I just think Magic Guard, especially in League, for the matter. But if there's any Pokemon I'm going to trade on this thing, it's probably going to be this thing, to be honest. But I don't really have much to say on this thing. It's kind of just a filler Pokemon because, like I said, I needed a bulky Psychic. I needed a Psychic type in general, but I wanted a bulky one. And like Sigilyph was like my only option. So moving on, next round we grabbed Garbodor. Garbodor actually fits this team very well, I think, because now I have Toxic Spikes and a Toxic Spikes Absorber. This also gives me another Spiker, so Ferrothorn won't have to always be able to run Spikes. Now I can have Garbodor run the Spikes and potentially the Toxic Spikes as well. So that is really nice. I really like that feature. And Garbodor, I've wanted to use this thing in a league for a while. In a long time. That's what I meant to say. It's a nice, well-rounded Pokemon. It's a good poison type. It's a nice lower tier pickup. Clear Smog is nice because, you know, you can get rid of stat changes, and this thing also can learn Explosion. So if I want to explode on something, I can do that. But there's not much on Garbodor. I named him Pollution. I mainly kind of grabbed this thing just for the T-Spikes because I mainly am going to be trying to sweep with Blacephalon, Shark, and Tyrantrum, maybe Staraptor as well in this league. So if I can get my Spikes and the T-Spikes up, that's going to make the job for those Pokemon much easier. But not much on Garbodor here. So next up we have Bessie the Tauros. Now, I originally wasn't even going to grab Tauros. I only wanted 11 Pokemon, but they said I had 12 points remaining, and if I wanted to, I could grab another Pokemon. So they gave me the option to grab another Pokemon, and I thought to myself, yeah, screw it. Let's just see what's available, see if I do want anything. And, you know, I didn't really have a normal type. Yeah, Staraptor's a normal type, but is it really a normal type? Not really. So I started to grab Tauros here. Tauros, you know, it gives me another Intimidator, so I got 3 Intimidators, but Tauros will probably be running Sheer Force most of the time. Anyway, you know, it's a nice speed tier as well with 110, and this thing hits very hard with the Sheer Force, and I've never used Tauros before, and yeah, I don't really have much to say on this thing. I kind of just grabbed it because I had the option to get a 12th Pokemon, so I did, and I still have like 6 points remaining, so if I want to trade something for a higher tiered Pokemon or higher priced Pokemon, then I can do so. But yes, that is it on my team, ladies and gentlemen. Let me know what you think. Let me know how you think I'm gonna do in this league. I think my team is very good. I think it's well rounded, but like I said, still probably gonna get my ass kicked in this league. So yeah. If you guys enjoyed the video, don't forget to click the like button down below. But I'm gonna get the heck out of here. Hope you guys have a beautiful day.